Good morning. Good morning. Hello, everybody. It is Friday. Yeah. Just waiting for everybody to grab their coffee and join. Hey, Stephen, how you doing this morning? Good morning. Morning, good morning, good morning. It's Friday. Woo! Thank goodness. We finally made it to Friday. Looking forward to the weekend. Next week's leading up to Thanksgiving. Will or won't. I like that. Thanks for joining this morning. Why so serious? Hey. What's up, buddy? Hey, if it's your first time here, let us know what state you're from. Maybe a little bit about you, like what kind of work you do. Jordan joined. Hey, Mac joined. Good morning. Good morning. We're going to do some more trivia today. We did some yesterday on Texas, and everybody seemed to enjoy it. So maybe we'll do a little more on Friday. Just kind of keep it lighthearted. Good morning, Mac. How you doing? How's the world treating you? Anybody live where it's snowing right now? If they do, put something in the comments, because we're here. Here in Texas, we hadn't had any rain in a long time, and actually, we got probably 1.5 inches of rain last night. So we haven't had any super cold weather yet. 92.3. Okay. Well, whoever that was jumped on, jumped off, didn't roll down the window to see what was going on. So I hope everybody brought their coffee and conversation. Let's see here. I'm going to let me do one real quick. And of course, I saved that. I've got a couple here that I saved for specific people who are here. Here, D942. Whoop, did drive by. So these are some kind of funny ones. Here's the first one. What do Texans use to measure distance? Put your answer in the comments. What do Texans use to measure distance? Anybody got any idea? Good morning, Ed. Little still grudge. Yeah, that's right, Mac. Parker's joined. Good morning. Thank you for joining this morning. Hey, everybody, if it's your first time here, you can tap on the screen, like the live, share the live. And Ed, we've had our first question this morning. I just did a little more trivia. I found some more stuff I thought might be fun. And the first question was, what do Texans use to measure distance? I think everybody hadn't quite woke up on Friday morning. Anybody got any answer? Mueller, James, hey, how's it going, buddy? Good morning. Oh, thank you for the fan club. If you would like to join our fan club, it's super easy. Just send me one of those little hearts like Ed just sent me. It's a heart me, and you'll be added to the fan club if you would like. It's totally free. Anyway, the answer for that is how long it takes to get there. Yeah, get it? Texas is so big, it always takes a long time to get wherever. That's how they measure distance. I thought that was a little odd after I read it twice, but anyway. Something to done. We'll be here all week. Y'all wake up, get your second cup of coffee in. Morning, Al join. Hey Al, what's up? You know, it's Friday, and we finally made it to next week's going to be Thanksgiving week. And I'm thinking that I have to look at the calendar because just to make sure, but I believe we'll only go live probably Monday and Tuesday next week, and then take the rest of the week off for the Thanksgiving holiday. But I'll let you know for sure on Monday or Tuesday, kind of what I'm looking at. But I'm thinking at this point, I'm thinking that's where we'll be. Anyway, okay. So usually we do, like on Fridays, we do Q&A. So like if it's your first time here, yeah, I'm with you, Ed. I'm with you. For sure. Thank you. Oh, and God, I knew you'd be here sooner or later. I have yeah. I can imagine, Ed. You have a crazy busy. I had a long day yesterday at work. Didn't get home till like 5:30. It was crazy. Unfortunately, because the company did the reorg, and they laid a lot of people off, and even though I don't always agree with how people do stuff, you're still getting paid, you still do your job till the last day, even though people think that the company doesn't care about them, and it kind of leans in that direction. But they've made some changes, and you just can't shut down. But a lot of guys have shut down, so it's making the people who are staying, it's making their job a little difficult. So had a couple of requests to help some HR people out. So I thought, well, I'd rather leave on a good note than a bad note. It's getting harder and harder to split firewood to heat my home. So, Monica, you don't have obviously, well, I mean, I don't know. Do you have one of those log splitters where, you hook it up, or it's, got a motor on it? And have you seen Tractor Man's? Tractor Man's got one that I think he has it hooked up to his tractor. And man, maybe he'll share some of that split wood with him. Phil, how's it going? ASA. I don't know. I wouldn't want to have to. So do you just use wood? Is that your only heating, or do you have some type of other form of heating besides just your firewood? And I think I saw in one of your videos, more God, you have like a kind of like a potbelly stove, even though it's not really a potbelly stove. It looks square. Deadpool, good morning. How you doing this morning? El Goon just joined. Morning. Thank you for joining us on YouTube here. Yeah, it's Friday. We made it finally. Here is a this is not really a trivia question. It's just a funny one that I saw. Does anybody know why Texans love big trucks? Anybody? Okay. No, nobody knows why Texans love big trucks? Because parallel parking is just a suggestion. Da-da. Oh, that was a little funny. Bill joined. Hey, Bill, how's it going? So, Morning Guy, you have your conventional first, but you also have a wood one. I don't know. Sometimes, not in this house, but another house I had a really nice fireplace, wood burning fireplace, and it wouldn't heat the entire house, but it would heat the main living area pretty easily. Only thing, the wife didn't like the smell of burnt wood in the house. So, I mean, we used it quite a bit when we lived there, but she didn't want to replace it and have one like it in the new house. So Ed, the Bible study was good last night. Looked like we had quite a few people there. That seems to be growing. And so, yeah, making up for something small. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, at work, they were, they needed, it's kind of one of those things where you feel they basically let you go telling you they don't need your services, but then they realize, oh, we need them. We need them to do something now. We got an emergency. So, yeah, yesterday they couldn't get a hold of anybody because people are kind of like low key and not volunteering to do anything. So that's why I ended up staying late. Yeah, a lot of people were online last night, though. I thought that was good. Roger just joined. Hey, Roger, how you doing? Like I said, if you're new here, make sure you hit follow, put something in the comments. Send me a heart me icon if you want to join the fan club. It's free. And ask questions. This is Q&A day. So you can ask any question if it's your first time here. And some of us are regulars here, others are not. But yeah, I saw that. It popped up. That's good. That's what I've been doing with the lives here too. I'm having it record. Kim's here this morning. Good morning, Kim. Elgun's getting a Chevy 3100 for his first build. All right. Yeah, my first truck was a 1965 Chevy step side, but that 3100, that's a pretty good sized truck. That'll be fun if you're going to rebuild it, for sure. That's pretty good. Hey, if you're just joining, it's the first time you've joined us live here on Morning Coffee Talk from YouTube. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and I'll do the same on the backside. Thank you. Yeah. Anyway, I agree with you, Ed. And you know what? I think you'll find. I don't know. I'm seeing it on mine that a lot of times people who by streaming it on YouTube and TikTok at the same time, since YouTube turns it into like a long form video for you, that you'll be surprised how many people will. I didn't see it right off the bat, but within a week or so, I started seeing a lot more interaction because there's some people that are not early risers, but with YouTube making it a long form video, you get some more views, and I think we'll grow that Bible study class. And you never know, you may be doing Bible study for 1,000 people out of your garage. Wouldn't that be a feat? I think it would. I'll check it out too. I'm linked into your account on YouTube. Anybody that Ed's over here, Ed's actually on YouTube and TikTok. He has accounts at both. Definitely coming back. The old heads are always. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you can spend a lot of money, Elgoon, on refurbing old trucks. I remember it probably took me 4 or 5 years to finish it, and by the time I finished mine, of course, I was young then. I was kind of burnt out and tired of working on it, and ended up selling it and buying a newer truck that I didn't have to work on all the time. So yeah, but that's fun. I think everybody should have a project at least once. You know, if you like working on cars and you're mechanically inclined, um, you can learn a lot, but you can spend a lot of money too. So make sure you got a make sure you got a job so you can pay for all, because parts these days, woo, man, they've gotten really expensive. But if you can do the work, if you can do the majority of the work yourself, you'll be it'll be fun. Heads, yeah, you know, stuff like that's stuff you want to send off to a machine shop for sure. I might have to look that up. Man, that 3100, that is a classic. Belgoon, is yours is that a 5 window? Yeah, so I don't know if anybody knows what a 5 window is, but Chevy, and I don't even know what year that was. I want to say 48, 49, maybe early 50s. They made the Chevy half-ton truck had, they called it a 5 window because it had the window across the back and then two little, on the corners, it had two little side windows. And I can't tell. That 3100 make a really pretty show truck. 56, this looks like, when those came out. I thought they were older. RJ joined. So has anybody on TikTok? I mean, have y'all ever, or do you like old cars? I mean, I love to go to these old car shows where people have refurbed some of these classics, and man, some of these guys are really talented at what they've done with them. For sure. Yeah, it's too bad. Yeah, check out y'all Google the Chevy 3100, and you'll see there's some really nice photos online for those trucks. Valerie Little just joined. Hey Valerie, how you doing? Well, that was a drive-by. Okay, let's get back to this. There was some other stuff. There was something in here. Okay, here's a quick question. This is and this one I didn't even know. What major city in Texas was originally named Waterloo? What what city in Texas was originally named Waterloo? Anybody got that answer? If you know the answer, put it in the comments. Jam Wayne, hey, how's it going? Crazy Granny. There she is. Stephen Finney joined. Hey, Stephen. I like that. Crazy Granny as a handle. That's pretty funny. I like that. How about that one last night at Bible study, Ed? What was that? Low Country Catholic. She was pretty sharp. I was kind of like you. What is low country? What did low country mean? I didn't get that part of it. But yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I agree. Man, like I said, we got about 1.5 inches of rain last night. So it's, and they're saying, I think it's a 60 or 70% chance of some more rain this morning. So we need the rain though. Um, Thank goodness the neighbor and his trees that fell in the windstorm on the first little northern that blew through here. It was funny. Man, he had to have both his trees taken down and the stumps ground, and that little tree deal ended up costing $5,000 or $6,000 because we have a HOA here, and you have to have trees in your front yard. So yeah, that got pretty expensive, and that was with him shopping around. What did he tell me? And of course he's having the trees that he bought. One of them is probably already 15 feet tall, I think he said. That one tree was like $1,000 plus whatever it cost to have them bring it, deliver it, and plant it. And I'm sure it would come with some guarantees. Hey, user 7131. I don't know though. Trees like that, man, they is stop being cheap. I'm not being cheap. I'm just saying that's a lot of money for a tree. And I mean, I'm sure it comes with some kind of guarantees that, and I mean, he's smart about letting them plant it because I'm guessing if he tried to do it himself, I don't even know how you'd plant a tree that big. I would have just went to I'd want to got a couple of sticks and just put them in the ground and said, there you go. No, I'm just kidding. But we've had people in the neighborhood do that. So for sure. So y'all know that Texas is playing Arkansas this weekend. Who you think's gonna? I'm surprised Harry isn't here. I think he's a Razorback. There's been a lot of talk about running the coach off and him quitting and going to the NFL, but I don't think that's going to happen. Pablo, good morning. Thank you for joining us this morning. Let us know where you're from if you're joining on YouTube and it's your first time here, what state you're from, maybe what you do, what you're interested in, anything. This is Q&A. You can ask questions. Had a client redo his yard, $2.3 million. Holy moly. The trees alone were $280,000. He must have had a big yard and a big pocketbook to go with it. $2.3 million just for the landscape. I mean, landscaping is expensive. And especially if you have it professionally done, it's not cheap. But it requires an awful lot of labor. For sure. So, I did have let's see here. What else? Speaking of landscapers, I've got one for you here. Here we go. I pull these up specifically. A couple of trivia questions. First, we're going to do one for Mowing God. Mowing God. In Maine, what small town is the easternmost point in the continental United States? What's the name of the town? Do you know? I bet he does. Don't Google it. And then got a divorce. Wow. Yeah, that happens sometimes. Spend your money and then end up in a divorce. That's pretty harsh. Does that mean you got to ask permission to change things on your property? Yeah. HOAs do require it's not as restrictive as you think. It's really about no clue, huh? Let me answer this quick question. I didn't know it either. It's Lubec, Maine. So I'm guessing that Lubec sounds Canadian, but yeah, that's what it says. Lubec, Lubec, Maine. Ever been there? No. Yeah. So to answer, Deadpool had a question about the HOAs. Yes, HOAs do require certain things. Like, I mean, here's a little thing. You put your trash cans out here. We put them out on Wednesday night. No. Yes. Put them out on Wednesday night after 5 o'clock. And of course, you know, they don't really watch the time, Illinois. And then they have to be put back out of sight by 5 o'clock the next day, unless the trash hasn't run yet. And that's good. That's just to keep from having, we've got those huge trash cans. You don't want to have a bunch of those on both sides of the street. Okay, so here's the question for Illinois. You ready? What Illinois, excuse me, I always like to pronounce that correct. What Illinois city is known as pumpkin capital of the world? Ed'll know this one. Good, thanks. Thanks, Ed. What Illinois city is known as the pumpkin capital of the world? Mullen God says Morton. Is that right, Ed? Is Mullen God right? Is it Morton, Illinois? Michael just joined. Hey, Michael. Morton. Okay. Is that, Ed, is Morton close to you, or is it, I mean, or is it in a different part of the state? Anyway, Deadpool, on those HOAs, that's one of the things. But, you know, really what they're looking at more than anything is structural. You can't make any structural changes to your home. And there's, you know, certain things you can't, this neighborhood has privacy wood fences. So you have to maintain that. You have to maintain your house. You got, you know, you can't live in it 25 years and never paint it. And you know, there's some dumb stuff too, but this is the only place I've ever lived with an HOA. But I mean, here's a perfect example. You can't park your cars in the front yard. And I know you'd say, well, people are not going to drive their car up and leave it parked in the front yard. Yes, they will. In certain parts of town, it's pretty common. No, Morton is downstate, 140 miles from you. And so I'm guessing, Ed, do they grow a lot of pumpkins there? That's why they're considered the pumpkin capital of the world? Libby's plant. Oh, okay. All right. Well, that makes sense. Okay, here's a funny one for you. Do y'all know why landscapers make terrible secret agents? Anybody? Don't know? Because they're always leaving a trail of fresh cut evidence. Oh, that was pretty funny, I thought. Can you work on your, yeah, you can work on your car. You can't do this. What you can't do is you can't jack it up, take all the wheels off of it and put it on blocks and leave it in your driveway. But yes, you can work on your vehicle. You cannot, like a lot of guys work for companies and drive company trucks like these big, work trucks and stuff. You cannot park those in the neighborhood. You cannot have any 18-wheelers parked in the neighborhood. And more, that's more safety. And I mean, that kind of falls in line with the city ordinances. And it's because they take up so much room in the street, and emergency vehicles can't get by if they allowed that. And you wouldn't think about it, but some of these houses in this neighborhood are like 6-bedroom homes, 2 stories. And it's not, and they have a 2-car garage, which unless you have 2 little cars and you don't put anything else in it, you're not going to park in the garage. But at best, usually 1 vehicle in the garage and 2 in the driveway. So in a lot of those 6-bedroom houses, unfortunately, not originally, but a lot of people from California, when they were building out this area, moved here when the prices were lower, and a lot of them would sell, $1 million or $2 million home in California, and they thought they had hit the mother lode, and they come to Texas and buy 3 houses and pay cash for them. Not that they're going to live in them, because they're not, but they turned them in a rental property, which was also supposed to be against the HOA, but I guess there was a lawsuit. They can't do that. Unfortunately, when you have rental property, what the HOA didn't put in there was that, I don't have a problem with it. We need rental property, but you should be held at the same standard. And a lot of times the owners were not held to the same standard. So they didn't water the grass. They didn't keep it mowed. I mean, you could just walk through the neighborhood and point them out. That's a rental. That's a rental. That's a rental. That's how much difference the houses look. Now they've gone back and they're kind of like enforcing some of it. Can't make people water their grass, but the HOA says if your grass is dead and there's nothing but dirt, you have to replace it. So which is cheaper, having your lawn replaced every year or putting some water on it? I vote to put some water on it, but some people have had to replace their lawns. 99% of the world's canned pumpkin comes from Morton. Wow. I didn't know that for sure. Peoria is where Caterpillar is. Okay. Let's not forget they used to do the pumpkin chunking contest. Ed, is that the one where they have like the catapult and they catapult the pumpkins? I'll have to look it up. You're not the Illinois trivia champ. Oh. Oh man, I like that. I was raised in the country, not in the city. My wife was raised in the city, so. And unfortunately, when you're younger, that's where all the jobs are. That's what brought us here, was jobs. Has a pumpkin cannon? Oh, that would be fun. Yeah. Huh. So, Illinois Facts, he's awesome. He is. More God, did you used to live in Illinois? I've never been to that state, so I've never really been up the East Coast. So a few years back, I say a few years back, it's probably been 20 years ago. Not the last time we left the United States, but one of the times we went to Zihuatanejo, Mexico, to a resort there. And while we were there, I knew it wasn't going to be a good trip. The first night, I ate some ceviche, shrimp, and thinking that, I'll be fine. because everybody else ate it and they were fine, but I got food poisoning. So for the next 48 hours, I wasn't doing too good. And then when I recover, my wife got sick, and she, of course, we didn't know till we got back to the United States, but she had pneumonia. And they, in a third world country, they treat everything with, penicillin. And like, yeah, you'll be fine. Well, she nearly died before I could get her back to the United States and in a hospital. And then when we got back here, she was in a hospital for a week. So that wasn't a very good vacation. Morning, John. How's it going all the way from Australia? What up? Yeah, so that was the only other time I've been out of the country since then was on a cruise. And I was like, I think cruises are overrated, but the family wanted to go, so we went on one. And it was just, if I don't go on another boat like that, it won't bother me, because we all came back sick with COVID for the second time. Every one of us had COVID. So yeah, luckily this time, the second time, well, it was my third time having COVID. It wasn't, it was about like a 2 or 3 day flu, and it was over. So yeah. I don't see you remember me. Yeah, Batman versus Superman, I do. But I didn't remember you coming up Batman versus Superman as at Deadpool. That's probably what I didn't recognize. Sorry. But I'm glad you're back. Menards. Yeah, so yeah. So that was the last time I went there. So what and my theory is, if you want to go on vacation, there's lots of places to travel to in the United States where if something were to happen to you, more than likely, thank you, John, appreciate it. You don't have the language barrier, and two, usually the hospitals and doctors and medical care in the United States is better than most third world countries. So yeah, and that was a terrible trip too, because she was sick. We flew from Mexico to Houston Intercontinental on a American Airlines jet prop plane, where you have 2 seats on one side and 1 seat on the other. And so those are pretty small planes. And then we get to Houston, and we're supposed to catch a connecting flight to fly into Austin, except they didn't get us to the gate soon enough, and the flight took off, and we got stuck at the airport for 3 hours. And, of course, I wasn't sick, but she was. And 3 hours when you're running a fever and sick with pneumonia, having to wait for the next flight was not fun. So, yeah, that kind of ruined that vacation for me. And so since then, we've gone other places. I think the last one we went on, we went on the cruise, and then we have some friends that have they sold it now, but they had a place in Arkansas. We went and spent a week in Hot Springs and went to the horse races. And if you've never been to Hot Springs, go to Hot Springs. There's lots of stuff to do. The horse races there, that facility is phenomenal, and it's really fun. Wake up is nature. I wished I lived in the country again, but I don't. Cal Cop does, though. He lives in the Texas Panhandle, and he doesn't even live in Amarillo. He lives in a small town outside of Amarillo, so he definitely lives in the country. Check out Menards. Oh man. So does anybody have anything exciting planned for the weekend? I know Batman's probably going to be, hey Batman, have you got that truck yet? Have you got or are you in the process of getting it? I wish there was a way to like copy a photo and put it in the comment. I wonder if I can do that. I don't guess I've ever tried. Let me see. If I could copy that image, come over here. Let me paste it. No. Too bad. I was going to try to paste a copy photo I saw of a Chevy 3100 in the comment section so you could see what it looked like. And I'm sure that Batman's doesn't look like that yet, but be curious to see. Batman, send me a picture. Send me a picture to my email address when you get it. daveshop2@gmail.com. And just attach a photo. I'd like to see it. And just so you know, I'm putting together a distribution list of email addresses for people who join the lives, and not sharing or selling anything. It's really just in case I don't make a live. I don't want people to, be freaked out or worried, or, if there's a change or a special event, then I can send you a direct email just letting you know. I'm going to use AI and spam everybody. No, I'm just kidding. There you go. There's Ed. Yeah, see, Ed's like me. He's on both platforms. That's good. Thanks, Ed. So, John, what's the weather like in Australia this morning? Well, it's nighttime there, right? And it's super humid today. I want to say it's probably close to 70 degrees outside and just like super humid. It's been like that. It's been really humid all week. Is it in the winter months when it's, when you got snow on the ground, is it super humid there in Illinois, or is the humidity just average? Because here in Texas, sometimes in the summertime and in the spring, man, humidity gets up 80-90%. Yeah, I didn't figure. Announcement: no Bible study next time. I didn't figure we'd be doing that, and that's why I said next week. We'll definitely do live Monday and Tuesday, and by then I'll let everybody know, and everybody that I have an email address, I'll send you an email too. But on TikTok, I can just message. I just have to do it one at a time. But I can do a copy paste, or I'll send out an email letting everybody know the schedule. So nobody's got anything special going. I think everybody's just tired from the week. And, it's kind of hard to recover. I thought yesterday we had a really good time. I mean, I had a good time anyway with it. So with the Texas trivia. So we'll definitely do that again. I just got to come up with, like I said, we could do one on Illinois. We could do one in Maine, but I'm going to, and if that's what y'all want to do one on, we'll definitely do. I'm not, it doesn't matter what state we do it on or what we do it about. We might just do, what was that game? There was a trivia game. Okay. Very dry. Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely do some Illinois trivia next week. Yeah, Trivial Pursuit. There you go. I'm gonna have to come up with some other stuff that we could. I always like Trivial Pursuit. I've played that game a ton of times. It's been a while, but I have. That's a fun game if you have a group of people, because some people are like, And I ain't that smart, but some of these people are really very knowledgeable and never play against my wife. I always say she cheats. She just knows too many answers. But I know why she does, because she's an avid reader and I'm not. So, but I've played with some people that are really smart, and they stuff that you'll get a question and be like, what? I never even heard of that before. They're like, oh yeah, that's so and so. So yeah. So yeah, we'll do some of that. That's a good idea, Ed. I'll do some research on that, and we'll definitely play Trivial Pursuit. Weekend plans, hanging out with the fam. That's always good. So Batman, did you hear me? If you do get a picture of your truck, send it to me in an email. Let me know, what year model is it? Do you know? I mean, 56. It looks like there was a year range for those 3100s, and if it's a 5-window or not, because those 5 windows, that makes them even more valuable. Even though they made quite a few 5 windows, you just don't see that many anymore. So let's see, what else? Well, I finished the wall, and I'll show y'all. See that new section there? There we go. I don't remember. Ed, did I show y'all the finished product on that? Can't remember. I mean, you can see it looks just like this. Here, I'll turn the camera real quick so you can see it. So you can just see I finished that part of it. And I've got some more signs to put up, and some other stuff. But man, I was glad to get that done. That, for some reason, I guess because I had to cut all that specialty wood going around the cabinet, and in that corner over there was my nail gun didn't want to get between the wall and the water softener very easy. So, but we got it done and it's finished. And then I'm probably going to do the same thing on the other side of the garage on the wall. And the main reason is, in some houses, they don't finish out the garages. In these houses, they did finish the garage out. So they sprayed texture, even though it's very light, and painted it. But what they didn't do is they didn't put any trim on the bottom where the concrete and the sheetrock come together. And if you don't trim that over time, it allows moisture to get in the sheetrock on the bottom, and it'll have a tendency to swell. And I knew that, so I went ahead and put baseboard on mine. But they also don't do a great job taping and floating. And part of it is your garage gets super hot in the summertime, and it's pretty humid because there's, you got a garage door, but the garage door is not even insulated. And so over time, they use paper tape. And so over time that starts to separate, and I've had to make several repairs there. But when you do the cedar wall there, you don't have to paint it. You don't have to worry about it. It holds everything together. And everybody likes the smell of cedar when they open the garage door. So, and that doesn't last forever. I don't smell it, but other people that, walk in go, oh, I smell that cedar. It smells really good. So, and you can do, I think, it's gotten a little more expensive because everything's gone up here lately, but I probably spent maybe $200 to do that wall. Not the signs. A lot of the signs are gifts. A few I bought, but most of them were gifts. Yeah, so that was funny. I've noticed in Ed's garage, Your two befores are exposed. Are those exterior walls insulated at all? I mean, I can imagine that it gets a little chilly in there. That's why I know during Bible study, you're like, hey, hurry up, get in here. We got to get this door down. And I can't imagine, like in the dead of winter, I mean, it gets cold where you're at. So Ed, do you have like an insulated garage door? No, very cold. Yeah, exactly. So is your garage door insulated? Anyway, what I detected and saw, uh, we're debating on what to do. Well, I always look at it this way. So I've done a couple of things in this garage. Like one of the things that the builders don't do is, and they don't do it because they're trying to save money when they're building the houses, is they never insulate the ceiling over the garage. And I never understood that because, by not insulating it, it allows heat up into the attic, and the attic's already hot enough. Now the rest of the house has got blown in insulation, and that's supposed to keep it off. But common sense tells me that the more insulation and the better you can do to keep the heat out of the attic, it helps. And plus, you have a connecting exterior wall, and the wall is insulated, but the ceiling's not. So when I moved in, I actually insulated and decked all the area over the garage. So that helps a lot here, especially. I guess in the summertime too, because I did it right when we moved in. So I never have experienced that since. But when I replace my garage door, I am going to put an insulated garage door on it too. And they say that, that only drops or that only affects the temperature about 10 degrees. But, when it's 10 degrees, if it's freezing outside, 10 degrees could make a difference of it being comfortable or not. We're going to see how cold it gets this winter. Sorry, I heard some little kid outside, but I don't see him anyway. Yeah, so drywall, yeah, just depends on what, drywall is probably insulation and drywall, or one of the things that you might consider, and one of the things I'm probably going to do in my attic eventually, is I'm going to have the regular blown-in insulation removed, and I'm going to have it spray foamed. Friend of mine has had 2 or 3 houses spray foamed, and the insulation factor is a whole lot better. His attic's in the dead of summer, 80 degrees. They never get over 80, and so it really makes a big difference in your heating and cooling bill. Even though our heating bill here is not really much, but the air conditioning part of it is where you spend all your money in Texas. Several $100s every month. I mean, and electric prices have gone up, so even in the wintertime, it's probably 200 plus a month. But it's because we have central air, and that requires a lot of electricity. There you are, Tripfox. How's it going? Good morning. Thanks for joining this morning. Oh, thanks. I appreciate you. Tripfox has joined us on YouTube. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate it. Make sure you keep sharing the live, like the live, follow. Share your email address. I'm putting together kind of a distribution list for any time I need to send out a message. I can just type one message and send it to everybody. Thank you. My son, I've talked about insulating drywall. Yeah. Yeah. So, Ed, you can always do sheetrock. That's probably just looking at your walls. You could even do batt insulation because that's, the easiest way to insulate. And just that and sheetrock alone, and you don't even have to tape and float the sheetrock. you can just you can just put up sheetrock and insulation, and that would probably do make your garage a lot more comfortable if you spend much time out there, especially in the winter months. But yeah, sheetrock's probably the cheapest way to go as far as, covering it. But, maybe you don't sheetrock it. Maybe you just put some insulation in, because a lot of that insulation fits snug enough on in between the studs. And then they make like a netting that you can just like staple to the 2x4s that would, hold it in place. And so, you might consider maybe just putting some insulation in there first and doing that netting across there to hold it in place, just to make sure it doesn't, slide out or anything. And plus you staple it in there to the sides, so that should hold it in place too. And yeah, that'd be a pretty easy insulation. I made $3.60. Yeah, how about that? Isn't that crazy? $3.60. Woohoo! Somebody asked me the other day, they're like, hey, do you make a lot of money doing those lives? I said about 20 cents. And they're like, 20 cents. I was like, yeah. I said, I don't really do it I know people that, of course, these people that are having these big productions and there you go, Treville. Treville, why is it so hard to find someone who knows how to make sheetrock repairs? And I know how it works, and I can do it. But when I do it, you can see that I've done it. And I've worked with some guys that, man, they could tape and float and texture and do sheetrock repairs, and you couldn't find where they had made the repair. That's how good they were. But right now, I've had 3 different contractors say, oh yeah, I could fix it. It's in the entryway, and it's just a settling because there's a stud that runs right across that entryway, and the house settles because this is the kind of land we're on, and it'll have just like a little hairline crack, and then over time I have to get it repaired again. So Chad Bird, he has a text. Oh, when is that? When is Chad going to be on, Ed? Uh-oh. I have to verify myself. Yeah, for sure. Okay. All right. December 3rd. I'm going to put that on my calendar. That'll be interesting. Chad Bird. Yay. Hey, so, okay. Ed put it on YouTube too, so that's good. So everybody saw that. If you like podcasts and you've never joined Ed's podcast, it's called Reflection. It's on Apple and Spotify. And if you're searching for it, just type in Ed Blonsky Reflection, and it comes up every time. And he's on season 5. I haven't listened to all of them because, the last few months been kind of crazy for me, but I do periodically go catch an episode. I haven't caught up yet, but there's hopefully I got time to catch up. But go check it out. He's got some really good guests, and it's a great podcast. Was it Gregory Irwin 194 joined us on YouTube? Thanks. Mustache game status Zeus. Thanks, Gregory. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. Let us know where you're from. What state are you from? Are you here in Texas? Someplace else? across the world. We got John. He's with us on TikTok from Australia. We had somebody join us on YouTube from where were they from? New Zealand. Of course, we've had a few join us from Mexico, different parts of Mexico. I don't think we've never had anybody from Germany. Oh, we did have somebody join from Russia, South Carolina. All right. So, Gregory, are you a college football fan? I stumped him on that question. or he didn't, or maybe he's driving. Hell, who knows? What? Go Vols. Oh, he's Tennessee. All right. They have a pretty decent team this year. Go Vols. You know, so you can see I'm a Horns fan. They haven't had the greatest season this year, but I really didn't expect them to. A lot of controversy. You know, there's certain things about the UT college and the athletic department there that's kind of crazy. You know, they expect coaches to win at all cost, I think sometimes, and everything's, you know, tagged around winning. And I get it to a point, but reality is you're not going to be in the college playoffs year in and year out constantly. There are some teams that have achieved that, but I just don't think fire coaches over that. However, now here's the other side of it. Coaches make a truckload of money. And so I have a real hard time feeling sorry for them too, because most of them, when they get fired, they take a few million with them. You and I get fired, we get 2 weeks paying out the door you go if you're lucky. And you may just be going out the door with no pay. So, yeah. So that's why sometimes when I see these college football coaches whining because they got, and they end up losing their job. Of course, you don't want anybody to lose their job, but at the same time, it's hard to feel sorry for somebody when they lose a job, but they lose it with several $1 million worth of pay that goes with it. So I know that they're not going to be like most of us, maybe not be able to pay the mortgage or your car payment, or, wondering if you're going to be out on the street, like, some people that I know that are affected that way. And so, yeah. What part of Texas? Greg, I'm Austin, the capital. I don't live in Austin, but that area, Central Texas. That's great. It's been kind of low key this morning compared to the trivia fun we had here. I'm telling you, I don't know if y'all had as much fun as I did, but I had a blast yesterday doing that Texas trivia. So, and Ed gave me an idea. I've got it written down. I'm gonna look at that Trivial Pursuit because I'm not positive, but I think they have like an online version. But if not, I'll create something because I think that'll be fun too. If we do like a Trivial Pursuit because there's such a wide range of questions that stuff that I don't think about necessarily, but I think that'll be fun. So we can do that. And if y'all have any other ideas of stuff that you'd like to see or do while we're doing the live and drinking coffee in the morning, send me an email. Send me your ideas because I do sometimes that. So, and I'll be honest. Yesterday morning, I came in here at like 4:30, and I'm sitting here in front of my computer, and I'm wondering what in the world are we going to talk about today? And kind of just feeling a little bit defeated and unprepared. And I was like, God, what am I going to do? And understand that I don't like AI taking people's jobs. I just think that that's not a good thing. However, I've resided myself to look at the positive side of it. There are a lot of things that AI can help you with, and social media is one of them. And I don't use AI to make content because I don't think people want to see that content personally. I think people want to, connect with real people. And that's why I like doing the lives, because, you're connected with real people, not somebody that a lot of times you don't know. And you meet new people. And so that's a plus too. But AI a lot of times can help, if you have an idea, but maybe you don't have it all done, and it just saves a ton of time as far as giving you information that you could possibly use in a live, like, trivia questions, how long it would take you to look that up and write down the questions or type them and come up with all that. And AI can do it in minutes, less than minutes. And so there are some good things that I think AI can do. Like I said, I wish it wouldn't take jobs. I was at work yesterday, and one of the guys came down from corporate, and he was looking at all the servers, and we were working on that, trying to determine what server they wanted to shut down and when. And he was struggling, and I asked him, I said, what are you doing? He said, I can't get this code to work correctly. I said, well, why don't you just pull up AI and tell it what you want it to do? I said, and I was just being kind of a smart aleck. I probably shouldn't have been, but I think that's kind of how it probably came across. Hey, Ed, thanks, man. Have a good one. Have a great weekend. Get some rest. I just want to finish this story real quick, and then I got to go too. But anyway, so I'm like, hey, why don't you use AI and just tell it what you want it to do? And he said, I didn't think about that. And I said, well, aren't you a programmer? He said, I'm a server guy. I was like, okay. And I'm not a programmer at all. And so I just told AI, hey, I want you to do this, and then shut this server down. Give me the steps, and boom, 2 minutes, listed it, put the code in, and in 5 minutes we had it shut down. Everything was done. And that guy was just looking at me. I was like, I look pretty smart, but really I just got lucky. But so those are the kind of things I think might be good. I mean, if you're a programmer, I might be a little worried. I think that anybody that's going to be in technology long term that's younger than I am, if you're not learning AI, you're missing the boat, because it's going to go there some form. I don't know if it'll really be strong, or maybe just be another tool, but they're predicting now that a lot of programmers get paid pretty big money, because what they do is can do a lot of stuff for you. But yeah, they're predicting that a lot of those programmers are going to be out of work, because Ed could sit down in front of IA, and I could say, Ed, put in this, ask it to do this, and give it this parameters. And in a minute or two, he could print out the program that these guys were trained to write themselves, and AI will write it like that, and probably not make any errors, or less errors, and not have to keep doing it over and over again. So I have seen a few of the programmers at work doing different things and using AI to answer questions and tell them, hey, they'll basically paste in their code and have AI check it. And if there's any errors, or if we're having a problem, a lot of times AI will find it, and then they'll know what to do to correct it. Hey, everybody, it's Friday. Thank you. It's been a great week. I know you all got to go to work. Like I said, I couldn't do this without y'all joining. So thank you for joining. Thank you for the support. Share this with your friends and family. Bring a friend with you. We start at 5:45 a.m. Monday through Friday. Next week's going to be a little different because it's Thanksgiving week. I'll try over the weekend to put some stuff together and let everybody know what the schedule is, but I'm thinking it's probably just going to be Monday and Tuesday next week. Maybe Wednesday, but I'm not sure exactly what my schedule looks like for next week yet. But Monday and Tuesday for sure. The rest of the week, I might take a little vacay and everybody can just kind of chill and spend some time with the family and eat lots of turkey and watch some football and just get some downtime. So anyway, thanks everybody for joining me today. Go check out my videos on TikTok if you haven't, and YouTube if you haven't. Like, share, follow, send me a comment, send me a message. I answer all the questions myself. And until Monday, everybody have a great weekend.